What's going on YouTube, and welcome to another video where we're going to be talking about whether you should meal prep or not. Cue that intro. So to answer the question, should you meal prep? Or better yet, do you need to actually meal prep? We're going to divide this category into two types of people. You have the type of people that actually have the time of the day, or they make the time of the day to kind of prep their food, and then you have the type of people that will make the kind of generic excuse that they don't have the time. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to clear up for you guys the whole kind of generic meal prep. Do you need it? Should you do it? Should you not? And I'm going to kind of break down why you might need meal prep, why it might benefit you, and maybe why you don't need to meal prep. So number one, we're going to start with your day-to-day person. Now, if you're kind of just your everyday person watching this, you have no ambition of, let's say, being a competitive athlete or anything along those lines, and your lifestyle consists of getting up at 5, 6 in the morning, getting on the tube or on the bus, whatever it is, getting to work, having like a special K bar, some sort of cereal bar, and then not eating till 12, and then you're going to eat out, have a midday snack, and then potentially eat out again in the evening or eat at home, and you just not used to meal prepping, don't worry. Let me tell you that now. You don't need to meal prep, okay? You can keep doing exactly what you're doing, but my advice is potentially keep a food diary. So depending on what your goals are. Now, if you are wanting to lose body fat and you're not seeing results you want, but you are already exercising, then what I'd suggest is take like a week to 2 weeks where you would set out like a food diary, okay, and put everything down. Don't hold anything back, put everything down that you need to. Okay, this way now you know how many calories on average you're consuming. By the way, I'm not saying you need to kind of keep a diary 24/7 if you don't want to, although I advise it just because it's a good way to stay accountable. Once you know, especially if you eat out, but once you know what you're consuming, then from there you can work out, your deficit, or if you're trying to put on muscle, you can work out your surplus. Now this way, if you eat out, it's a lot easier to track things. I recommend personally, if you do eat out regularly and don't prep your meals, to use something like MyFitnessPal. It's very, very easy to kind of be on the go, boop, scan things up, sorted, and it's on your diary, okay? So as long as you know what you're consuming, it is really, really easy. And this is what a lot of times, in my opinion, is confused with the if it fits in your macros kind of scenario. People look as if it fits in your macros a way of, getting away with eating pizza, donuts, Pop-Tarts all the time. Hey, they're good. I have muffins and cookies and sometimes pizza in my diet. Kill me, like whatever. But no, that's not the situation. If it fits in your macros, is more, all about being able to have balance, kind of, not sticking to your generic bro kind of meal. And I always say to my clients, that 80% of your kind of clean, high value, micronutrient value foods, and then another 20% not so high value, micronutrient value foods, but it's that 20% of your daily calorie intake that's going to be able to give you a social life. It's going to be able to, you can eat out and, have social events and have a drink now and then if you need to, and tailor that into your day. So this is where I would say you don't need to food prep. You can still see really insanely good results as long as you keep your hands off the cookie jar 24/7. Have balance. Balance is key. But keep a diary. And then that way, if you're not used to food prepping, if you don't like to food prep, that is fine. I have a few clients on my list that have seen like amazing results. And their day consists of eating breakfast at work, i.e. eating out, eating lunch, out, eating dinner with clients, so out. So majority of their day, 5 times a week, they're eating out, and then on a weekend, they want to kind of chill, have a homemade meal, or go out with the wife, or the husband, or the family. And we have done this in a way that they are not food prepping. They are seeing phenomenal fat loss results, and muscle gain results for that matter. And it's all down to knowing your calorie intake. Then from there, you can kind of work things out, okay, and balance it out. So that is what I'd say in terms of not needing to food prep. So going on to the second part, should you food prep? I'm a big advocate of food prepping. I like food prepping personally for myself, but like I said, doesn't suit everybody. So why should you food prep? Well, number one, you're gonna save a shitload of money. If you're happy spending out and you've got the finances to do so, fair enough, not judging you. But yeah, that's number one. You save a load of money. Number two, personally, this is from my personal experience. Like I said, working with clients, it's a lot different. But I just find it's just easier to be able to stay on track. I do now and then, like now I've just stopped. Go for a phase where I mainly eat out. It's expensive. I don't like it. But when I've eaten out and kind of I've shared a lot of the things I've been having and still seeing the results I want, and I've done that in order to kind of prove that you can just eat out all the time or buy food out, like a pasta pot with chicken pieces or whatever from Tesco, Sainsbury's, or whatever else, and prove you can still see results without the need to food prep, as long as you're hitting what you need. I'm a competitive athlete, therefore for me, my macro intake is fairly important. I'm on the off season, so not quite as much, so this would apply to you the same way. So it's a little bit easier to kind of eat out as opposed to fast prepping. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, anyway, so back to the point. So it saves you money, easier to stay on track with from a personal point of view. If you're food prepping, I lost my third point. Damn. And that third point, it was helps you stay accountable. Okay, I personally find that if I'm taking the time of the day to food prep, not only am I going to save money and find it easier to track things, I'm actually going to stay accountable. I'm actually going to make sure that I am not going off plan. I am not kind of going down a route I really shouldn't be going, because to some people, going out and buying food out as you go can be quite challenging. Mainly because you're going to feel like, you're going to buy like a chicken pasta pot, just as an example, and then you're going to see like a chocolate or like a meal deal, and this, it's kind of just going to throw you all off or whatever. So I found it really, really easy that when you prep your food, it's easier to stay accountable. So who would I really recommend who would I recommend food prepping to? Basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. Number one, the very obvious. If you're a competitive athlete, it is key you have your meals ready at you, especially if you're in contest season, i.e. not in an off season. I think this is really important. Coming from a bodybuilding perspective, if you guys watching this compete, you will know, or if you don't know, I'm about to tell you now, it is key that you prep your food, basically. So you make sure you don't really kind of miss any necessary meals. And this is down to, having kind of your nutrient time in to help support your training, to make sure you get the most out of your gym sessions. And obviously the leaner you get, it just becomes that little bit more important as we get to a point where it's unhealthy, low amounts of body fat. So having that kind of nutrient time in to keep the body ticking nicely, I would say is quite key. So if you're a competitive athlete. Number two, if you struggle to stay accountable, like I mentioned on my point, so if you struggle to be accountable for just buying out, then I'd recommend trying to find the time of the day to food prep. Or if you have the financial situation to eat out, then find a food prep company that will do it for you. Therefore, it's delivered to your house. Boom, sorted. Number three, if you have the time of the day. Okay, if you have the time of the day, then I really do recommend you food prep for the various 3 points that I said that apply to myself. Accountability, saving money, easier to stay on track. All right, so for those of you watching this, to answer the question, so do you need to food prep? No, if you're an everyday kind of person just wanting to keep fit, keep a healthy lifestyle, keep a balance in your lifestyle. Yes, if you're more a competitive athlete, or if you struggle to stay on track through eating out, then therefore I'll try and recommend that you make the time of the day to try and prep meals, whether it's a night or day, or hire a prep food service company that will do it for you. I hope this answers that question for you guys. I hope it makes sense. As always, subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back again in the next video. Guys, keep it real, keep it positive. Team JD Fitness, over and out.